Did you get it? Is it on?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another wonderful episode of Taking Over the World. Why do you say so small? Like
That was synchronized because I knew you were going to be loud. I was trying to hit the back end part of it, you know?
Like surround sound?
Something. I don't know. I'm sure there's acoustical variation. I just made that up.
Good. Okay. So, how has your week been, dude?
Don't even ask. All right. We're going to jump right into this conversation. Okay. We were just talking about these beads, these magical beads. We were talking about The Office and these magical beads that Ed has. It just came up and I said, stop. We got to continue this conversation. So tell me the story about these beads.
So, we were in New York on vacation.
Okay.
And we were walking
By
around.
the way, you went to New York on vacation for like a Mexican holiday, it turns out?
No.
Okay, that's a side story too?
No, yeah, we got stuck in that.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to know the whole story, we went to New York to see a comedian.
Okay.
Michael McIntyre. Hilarious guy from the UK. The only show he's doing here is in New York for 2 days.
Okay.
So we went to go see him.
Okay.
That's Mercy's favorite. She loves him. She wanted to go see him. He's funny as heck.
Okay.
He does a lot of relatable family stuff. So she wanted to go. So we went to New York for that.
Okay.
It just so happens we were in New York, and we had last time we went to New York, we had the city pass. So we went to all the museums and all that stuff, and we were trying to get a.
You're just trying to be fancy schmancy, like art and culture, and show people that you have this deep inner self. Is that what we got?
No, it gave us something to do when we were there.
Okay, fair enough.
Fair enough. It was just I want to go see Dum Dum on Gum Gum, and that was it. I was happy with that. Okay. That's what I wanted. So that's what we did the first time we went. And now this is the second time we went. So we went to New York, and we ended up doing a city tour to take a bus tour around to see places we hadn't seen.
Okay.
Went through Brooklyn, went through Harlem, went through on the Brooklyn Bridge. Ended up going to Coney Island. But get back to the story of the beads.
Okay.
So we're going to go have breakfast one day.
Okay.
Which is at a Starbucks. We just went to go get Starbucks.
So, real way to mix it up.
Yeah,
way to mix it up.
We went to Starbucks.
Not like a New York deli or something.
We did have
like,
Junior's over there, which is the cheesecake capital of the world.
Okay.
They say that they have the best one. Everybody ships cheesecakes from there all over the world.
Okay.
Junior's, shout out, great food. But we were going to get coffee. It was early in the morning.
Okay.
And this gentleman that was dressed like a monk, came up, gave me a little golden sticker and said peace, and I was like, peace, and whatever, and I was walking, and he was following me.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, he pops these two bracelets on my wrist, right? And he gives Mercy a golden sticker too, and whatever. So he pops these two on me, and he pulls out a little book. He's like, peace. And I'm like, okay. So, and I'm seeing people are signing it, and I'm like, okay, whatever. So I write my name, and he's like, no, peace. I'm like, all right. So I write peace down, and I'm like, okay. He's like, donation. And I was like, okay. I guess it wasn't even a question. It was just, you write peace, you got to donate. So I was like, all right, whatever. So I pulled out, I gave him what I had cash, which I think was a 10 or whatever. And then he put the two on Mercy, and he's like, donation. And I'm like, no, there's no more donation. We have no more cash. So he snatched them right off of her wrist, took her golden ticket, and said goodbye.
So this is, I have not been to New York.
Okay.
But I am going to tell you, this guy was not a monk. Okay, homeboy is running a deep, long. This is panhandling, sophisticated New York style.
Oh, dude,
right? He's taking your signature. He wants you to write it. He's putting you on a list, you see those shows. Remember, what was it, Billy Madison? The guy's making a list. He wants you to write your name, piece on a list. You give me a donation, cool. You're not on the bad list. You don't give the donation, you're screwed.
Right, you're dying.
Right. So, basically, this was a shakedown. You got shook down. This is a more profitable, more efficient way to panhandle. He's like, listen, put them on. You're either going to give me the money, the $10, or
I'm taking them back.
I'm taking them back.
The funny thing is that as we're walking through Times Square, there was a couple other guys dressed like him. And the first thing they do is they look at your wrist.
Yeah.
And I was like, these guys, they look at your wrist and like, oh, we already got this one.
Yeah, he's like Frank Two Toes, Frankie Five Fingers got him down 2 blocks earlier. Tommy the Thumb's waiting on 3rd Street. They've got this whole booth. They got it. So these bracelets are basically organized crime. This is the new version. This is the panhandling mob. right?
Pretty
They
much.
got somebody on every corner with bracelets, and then they probably that's probably like the morning shift, right? You were going for coffee, so the morning shift is on bracelets. Like the afternoon shift is probably like on necklaces or God knows what else, right? Like next thing you know, we're gonna be seeing like Chick-fil-A, like down in the corner, like 25 cents for a pack of Chick-fil-A, like. So you guys got shook down. How does it feel? You got shook down by the mob. How does it feel? Does it feel different?
No, it felt same.
It feels the same.
It feels the same.
In the moment, did you be like, wow? Well, I mean, come on. At some point, you had to realize you got shook down by the mob.
I knew as soon as I got your money.
So as soon as he took your money, you knew you had been shook down.
I was like, it's done. Like, we're done. Yeah, we were through.
Okay.
And then the Mexican parade.
Okay.
So there was 2 of them.
Okay.
We got stuck in one night because it was Mexican Independence Day.
Okay.
Did
you guys dress up?
No, we were on a tour, but I was doing a night tour. We were on one of those like double deckers. We were on the outside, gonna go see the Brooklyn Bridge and the tour of New York and everything.
Because I'm gonna tell you what's going through my mind right now. A picture of you wearing a poncho and a sombrero on top of a bus going down the Brooklyn Bridge. That's what I have going on in my head.
Guillermo?
Right now. Yes, that's what I have going on in my head right now. Okay.
That was not me at all.
Okay, dang it.
But we got stuck, and they actually wouldn't even let us leave. I mean, it was to the point where the driver was like, "Well, we might have to."
Was he also handing out bracelets for $10? You want to get out? Bracelet, peace, open door. Yeah, $10. Yeah.
No, that did not happen.
Man.
But it was a pretty cool tour, and then we ended up the last day we were there. Took a subway from Manhattan to Brooklyn to Coney Island, which is pretty cool. It was an hour.
Isn't that where they do the hot dog eating contest, Coney Island?
Yeah, Nathan's Hot Dogs.
I've never been to New York.
Oh my God, you have to go. Dude.
I don't know. I don't think I do.
You do. It's fun.
I feel like there's.
You
I
just
feel
give
like
them $10, you get your bracelets, and you're good.
Yeah, right.
You're fine.
Oh no way, dude! I'm only carrying 5s in my pocket and one at a time. That way, when I get those bracelets, you paid $5 a piece. If I go to, I'm only going to New York to find this so-called monk, get the shakedown, and come back so I can tell you I only paid $5 for my bracelets. So I'm averaging $2.50 a pop.
There you go.
That's the only reason.
You're gonna
New York,
be.
I don't think it's my cup of tea. Listen, I don't need big crowds. I feel like there's like so much going on.
There is a lot going on.
I know. It's something like high rises and horns and taxis and people crossing streets like 1,000 at a time. Like, I'm not sure if my life's built for that.
It's fun. Like, it truly is. Like we went, so this is the second time we go. First time we did everything via subway.
Okay.
This time we didn't do as much, but we did like saw the show Wicked.
Okay.
We saw the show Aladdin. We saw the
Okay, I'm down to see Aladdin. That was an all-time great movie.
Yeah, it was a good Broadway show.
Okay.
Now, do you know what the difference between Broadway, off-Broadway, and off-Broadway is?
I don't know. Between 1, 2, or 3 bracelets? Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, no, I don't know. I've listen, my theater experiences begin and end at, like, the kids' elementary performances. Like,
okay. Well, I always thought that
I'm
Broadway...
theatrically challenged.
I always thought that Broadway meant it was on Broadway.
Okay, fair enough.
On the street Broadway.
Sure.
That actually has nothing to do with it.
I can see that also.
It's actually has to do with the amount of seats that are in the actual theater.
So we got like a single A, double A, triple A kind of setup.
Yeah, so
here.
if you have 1 to 99 or under 100 seats, it's an off Broadway.
So you suck.
No, it's just
You're
a smaller
getting
show.
there.
It's a smaller show. Not you suck. It's a smaller show. If you
Well,
go,
you're not great. Okay. Was it 99? You're off Broadway.
yes, and
Okay.
then I think it was from 100 seats to 400 seats or 399 about is off Broadway, and then anything over that is on Broadway.
I did not know that. I've been
Yeah.
educated today.
Yeah, so see?
Next time a Broadway, off Broadway, and off Broadway come up, I feel like I can hold an intelligent conversation on the topic.
See, and we went to the Majestic Theater one year. That was the first time we went. This time we went to the Gershwin Theater, which is very, very nice. We went to the New Amsterdam Theater.
Now, were these all shows you planned, or just like randomly, like spur of the moment, like, hey, let's go do this?
No, we
kinda-
planned them. I like to when I go to New York. I like to have planned. Usually when I go everywhere, because even when we went to Denver a couple months back, I like to have everything planned out so we know what we're doing.
And the bracelets fit into that plan.
No, those were.
Will you plan those for next trip?
I will plan avoiding those guys for next time.
Fair
But there
enough,
was
fair
a couple cool things. It was nice. Coney Island was good because I did want to go there. I did want to have a Nathan's hot dog.
Did you have it? How was it?
It was a hot dog.
How long did it take you to eat it? Could you compete with Joey Chestnut?
Not even close, dude.
Wow. So my boys this year, we watch it every year, right? It's like one of those train wreck things, like, right? Like you don't want to watch it, but you got to watch it, right? And so my boys this year, they're like, we're going to do it. And I'm looking at my oldest, right? I'm like, Braxton, there's no way. You don't even eat hot dogs, like, rarely, right? Like, back in home, he'll eat anything, right? He eats the garbage disposal. He eats like I do. Like, we're just...
Whatever.
Don't yeah, like, whatever's
in front of you, you're going to eat it.
We're going for it. So they're like, oh, I make a whole pack of hot dogs, right? Because Andy had gotten a pack of hot dogs, like, to have hot dogs and stuff. And we're like, all right. They're like, cook them all up. It's like an 8-pack, right? So I'm like, okay, guys. I'm like, first of all,
relax.
Joey Chestnut's laughing at you guys. Like, it's not even a warm up. Yeah.
This is like in the first second.
Right. So I cook them each 2, right? And I put them on the plate. I'm like, all right, go.
With bread and everything?
Bread and everything.
Okay.
And then they start doing like the old school Kobayashi moves. Beckham wants like water to dunk it in.
Oh,
like because they're just watching this stuff, right? They have no idea, right? And they're trying to watch on TV. I thought they were both going to throw up. And I'm not sure Braxton finished his second hot dog. Beckham got finally 2 down. It took like 5 minutes.
Did Brooklyn join in on that?
No, she's just laughing at him. She outsmarted them all. She's like,
you guys are idiots.
You guys look like dorks. Like, I want no part of this. Like, you guys look miserable. I'm not doing this. I'll just be hanging out over here doing something way cooler. But that is interesting. You went to the Coney Island, got a hot dog, huh?
Got a hot dog at Coney Island.
So that's an interesting topic. Hot dogs, right? I mean, you go to New York, they've got, there's always the New York pizza, Chicago pizza. What's better? What are the toppings? Now, I've been told hot dogs you can't put ketchup on.
You can't.
Right? So is that your firm opinion? Like, how does Coney Island? I mean, that's the home of the hot dog. Are we considering Coney Island potentially the home of the hot dog? I mean, Chicago would probably...
Well, they have the Chicago dog.
Yeah, and they get the Chicago style though. And like, listen, my wife's from Chicago, in-laws are from Chicago, so I can't belittle Chicago hot dogs too bad. But there's too much stuff on it for me. You got like pickles and relish and or like onion. I mean, like
the New York hot dog is more like sauerkraut and mustard.
See, that's what. I'm like this is where I'm gonna get roasted. Right? Come at me. I'm gonna put mustard on my hot dog, right? But I'm still gonna put ketchup. And I'm still going to put relish. Like, that's my hot dog. And I know
like
some
sweet
people...
relish?
I do like the sweet relish. And I mean, people are going to be like...
No sauerkraut?
No, that's garbage. Get that off my hot dog.
Hot sauerkraut's
Get that off my hot dog.
The greatest.
Get that off my hot dog right now.
Oh, God.
But there are people that'll crucify people for, like, putting ketchup on it. Well, and that's, like, the same for hamburgers. Like, ketchup for hamburgers, hot dogs, get mustard.
So do you have...
do
you eat your pizza upside down so you get the taste of the cheese?
What do you mean, like? You mean like backwards or like literally
like upside down?
No.
Upside down.
No, I eat my pizza regular style. Like I mean, like if I get like one of those floppy pieces, I'll have to like fold it in half and eat it kind of like a taco style, right?
Is that because you're Mexican?
Listen, I
like a taco?
I didn't say I put hot sauce on it. I just said I folded it up a little bit. But, like, if we go to El Domininos, like the fancy Domino's, right?
Okay,
like,
El Domininos.
El Domininos, like, that thing, that'll hold up. You don't have to fold it. But, no, like, when it comes to that stuff, like, I'm simple. Like, you go pizza, give me some either pepperoni sausage, maybe a pepperoni jalapeno sometimes. But, I mean, like, I don't need, like, sauerkraut on my hot dog. I don't need, like, mushrooms and bell peppers and stuff on my pizza.
That's also
I mean,
sauerkraut
like,
and mustard, that's like
no. Get my sauerkraut out of here. I don't like it. What is it? It's weird.
I don't know what sauerkraut is.
Yeah,
it just tastes good.
It's weird. It's weird.
See, but the funny thing is, so we're doing the bus tour, right? Okay. So we're driving through like neighborhoods we normally wouldn't visit, right? You normally wouldn't, if you're going to New York, you'd probably stay in Manhattan for the most part. Maybe go to the Bronx, especially for you. You'd probably go to the Bronx to see the Yankee Stadium, or
that would be cool. I'd be down for that.
Yeah, or go to see Citi Field in Queens and stuff. You'd probably want to do that stuff, right? So we went the bus tour and went through Harlem and stuff like that, and got to see different neighborhoods. Got the East Side in New York, the South Side. Got to see Soho and NoHo and all that stuff, and just got to check out New York City. But funny, I was talking to my buddy that's from New York that lives here in Vegas, and I was talking to him. We're passing right in front of the Met. The Met has 2 lions. Do you know what they're named? They actually have names for the lions in front of the Met.
The Lions?
Yes.
I'm going to go with Simba and Mufasa.
You're wrong.
Fair. I got no clue. There's only 2 lions I could think of.
Their names are, one of them is Persistence,
Okay.
and the other one is Fortitude.
Okay.
And they've been named that for forever. So I was driving by and I'm talking to my friend. I'm like, you know what? In about 5 years, I'm going to be attending the party at the Met.
I thought you were going to say you were going to buy a lion.
No, I could buy one. We could buy the concrete lion. It's just, I mean, not the size they have.
More like a real lion. I wanted to get a real lion.
I would love to have a real lion.
You would not. I would eat you.
That's my favorite animal, dude.
I see those reels on Instagram. Like I mean,
I love lions.
The risk there is not worth it. I mean,
you're afraid of your shadow, but no.
I'm afraid of a lion eating me. Is what I'm afraid of. Like, I cannot out wrestle or outrun a lion. Like, if that lion like gets ticked off for any reason, like you're done. You're dead. It snaps.
But
you're dead.
It'd be my pet. So
I mean, like, how many pets have you seen? Like a cat. You'll see people get mauled by their cats and have scratches on their face. Like, a lion does that. Like, your face is gone. You're dead. Like, what do you want, a pet bear next? Like, I don't get that stuff. Like, no, I don't want a pet that can kill me. Like, give me a goldfish.
Anyways, let me go back to my story. So I'm talking to my boy from New York, and I'm like, hey, you know what? In 5 years, I'm going to get an invite to the Met Gala.
Really? Okay.
The Met Gala, right?
Hey, visualize it. Okay, I'm down.
And my buddy says to me, he's like, you know what? If anyone else that I know would say I'm going to get an invite to the Met Gala, I'd tell the guy, you're crazy. You're insane. You're never going to go. I can't say that with you because you will find a way to get an invite in 5 years there.
Well, and you know what's funny is that segues just right into business, right? Like, because I was thinking over the weekend, we had baseball tournaments and soccer tournaments, and I'm thinking about just stuff like
Shout out to your boys that won, and shout out to your daughter that won in Arizona.
My daughter went out to Arizona and they stomped everybody. They're gangsters.
Shout out to the kids. I mean,
she's
won.
Got that next level gear though. That
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That you can't teach people. Like I don't know where she gets it. Like, I've got the competitive gene. Maybe it's my wife too. She's got a competitive gene, but she's got that next gear that she's just like, cool. Watch out while I step over you on my way to victory. Right? Like.
I knew I liked her.
Yeah, she's got that killer
reason why I
instinct.
liked her.
The boys did well. They finished second, lost to a really good team, but they played really well. It was their first tournament. Kind of a new team. We've got a lot of returning guys, but a few new ones. A couple of real good ads. So it was real fun to watch them get out there. But it was hot, man. I thought I died twice over the weekend from heat stroke.
I had to buy a sweater in New York because it got cold.
Well, look at you. Okay, what'd that cost you? $10? You get it with the bracelets.
No, it did not come with the bracelets.
Yeah, because another $5 you probably could have got this sweatshirt. You'll probably put it right over your head too.
Get back to the business.
With a little sprinkle water.
Let off the braces. Get back to business. Go.
So it's funny because I started thinking about how people play to their levels of competition, right? Like, we saw some different levels this tournament for the boys, and I started thinking about self-discipline and playing your own game and kind of visualizing and having that vision of the task at hand. Whether it's work or a competition, whatever it is that people set out their vision, right? And you've heard many times like, oh yeah, we lost or we didn't play great because we played to the level of our competition, and you see that, with major league sports, you see it with this, and you're talking about, I started thinking about that self-discipline, and it can be applied to all over your life. It's like, it's like the people that like, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. Okay. And it's like, well, this is what you got to do. And they're like, yeah, no problem. I'll do it. But at 10 o'clock, I'm still eating Cheez-Its and Wheat Thins, it's like, that wasn't part of the plan. Like, yeah, no self-discipline. And they're like, right. I don't know why, like, but then you go into that self-discipline to carry out a vision. And, it's funny because we always talk and you'll be like, listen, this is my vision. We're going to be in 14 regions. We're going to have 983 agents. We're going but you always set these lofty visions, which is great because, even when we talk with our newer agents, like some of their visions are like the complete opposite, right? They'll be like, whoa, what? Like, talk to us. Start with your vision, and they'll be like, I haven't done anything, so I want to do 5 transactions, in a year. And it's like, you and I both, I'm like, well, then we don't need to really talk anymore. Like, because if that's your vision, like, we're talking like over the top, and mine are more, I think, a little bit more realistic, reality driven, but yours are always like, and I think that's great because like in every relationship, business,
personal.
dating, marriage, whatever, there's always that you got to have one to push the other. Right. And it's like, you don't always want to have your kid be the best on the team. You don't always want to have the best house on the block. You don't want to be the best agent in the office. I know that's a goal, but it's like when you do, because we've had that talk before, is that, okay, maybe now it's time I got to find somewhere else because I got to continually find something to push me. And, that's what's awesome about our relationship is that you always have these visions. And I'm always like, okay, well, hold on. Let's break this down a little bit, right? Then I'm like, okay, but still, like, he's not wrong. Like, that's a bomb-ass vision. Like, if we think about it, like, there's a way to get there. And I think that's what's cool is, like, you're always like, boom, here it is. And I'm like, okay, but now we got to kind of figure out how to get there. Like, we can't just open it. We can't just wake up one day and we're there.
My job is just figuring out where we're going.
Right.
How to get there is not my job.
That's kind of a little bit more where I come in a little bit. And then we gotta talk it through a little bit.
You, Marie, there's other people in my life that have to structure how we get there. Mine is just, we need to get there, and I'm already planning my suit for the Met Gala. Like, that's what I'm doing.
But again, that's where that self-discipline comes in. Like setting out a plan and executing it, whether it's 12U baseball, whether it's, minor league baseball, XFL, NFL, like whatever it is, like these people set out visions and that's where it really comes down is that self-discipline to take it to the next level. And you go into real estate, for example, probably, and again, at least from my experience, not being in every industry out there, I can't speak to every industry, but like we are such a self-disciplined industry.
100%.
Because listen, at the end of the day, like you're a 1099 employee. You don't make any money. It's probably because you didn't do crap. You make a lot of money probably because you worked your tail off. Yeah, every now and again, some people just get lucky. You fall into something.
It's funny. The harder you work, the luckier you get.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But it's like you get even agents in our industry like, oh, I haven't been able to do any business. Well, okay, walk me through your day. Well, like I called a couple of people and nobody's been calling me or the for sale by owners aren't listing with me or the expireds like they've already listed with somebody else. It's like, well, there's 16,000 agents out here, and we're all, you guys are all fighting for the same 14 for sale by owners and expireds. And, they don't have any other self-discipline to follow a different plan, be creative, set their path and be consistent and trust the process. And it's like, everybody just wants that easy fix, especially in this industry. And, when I first came into it, I was guilty of it. I was like, this real estate thing, this is going to be sweet.
This is easy.
I got my license. Like I've invested. I've had properties. Obviously, I know everything. And I'm going to go ahead and sign over here with Keller Williams. They're going to train me on some things. And I'm just going to go probably just sit down at a desk and like my hand and my shoulder are going to be tired from just like lifting up the phone and
just people like
making it rain, right? And like you sit down and you're just like, huh, right? Like you don't know what to do, where to start, the phone's not ringing, and, it comes down to that, okay, now it's going to come to the self-discipline. Can you follow a plan? Can you be consistent? Can you have the discipline to get to that vision that, and how big is your vision? And, I think we're going to see a lot of it probably in the next couple of weeks. October 5th's right around the corner, which is going to be an MLS dues date, right? Be interesting to see how many people.
That's another one.
Start dropping off because I know there's another big one coming up
January.
First of the year. Yeah,
January.
It's going to be interesting to see how many people that jumped into it so fast, and now we're going to get out of it so fast.
Jump out, yeah. It's going to be interesting, but it's going to, I think, for a lot of people, it's going to. It really comes down to for everybody. I think the same things apply, right? Do you come in and do what you have to do? Do you come in and or do you just get, hey, I just got a deal, so I'm not going to do anything else?
Yeah, you put those blinders on.
Right.
And you just babysit that one deal for 30 days.
I got a deal. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm good. I don't have anything else to worry about. Or, or people come across and say, hey, you know what? I can't buy because of this or X, Y, or Z. Or do we as agents just say, okay, well, you can't buy now, so when you can't buy, let me know.
Yeah.
Or are we looking and saying, okay, get me everything you have and let me shop your deal around to other lenders and see who can get it done for you. Let me see who we have that can possibly get your deal done, who can help you get to the next level. Because, quite frankly, we were talking about it this morning. We have clients that are looking to rent instead of buy, but the qualifications are so much harder.
Isn't that wild?
It's like harder to rent.
That is wild. Like right now here, at least what we're seeing is that We've got people that are being qualified to buy, and rightfully so. They can justify it.
Right.
But maybe their credit wasn't exactly where it needs to be. But it's like the same person that can qualify for a decent interest rate, the going interest rate, 300, 325, purchase price, can't rent a $2,000 a month place or an $1,800 a month place because the credit score requirements are so high. That is wild, and it blows my mind. We're like, buy, no problem. Rent, not quite sure about that.
Well, it's the same thing in the commercial world, right? So everybody gets really frustrated in the commercial world when we do stuff because they're constantly looking at it and saying, hey, why don't they want to rent to me? I'm like, well, because for them it's a write-off. If it's empty, it's a tax haven. Hey, look, I didn't have any income, so it's a tax write-off for a lot of investors, so they don't care. They want the perfect tenant. They want the perfect. So you know what? The avenue is buy yourself. Because reality is, and I tell everybody this, and I honestly believe this, you're paying a mortgage.
You're
either going to pay your own or you're going to pay mine, but you're paying a mortgage.
That's
it
right.
doesn't matter whose it is.
It's 100%. And like like you were talking about earlier, is that tenants now or landlords are getting stricter with their tenants because they're like, well, I could rent it. But if you don't meet these qualifications in their mind, it goes straight to what you were talking about earlier when you were talking with another agent. It's like, well, in their mind, if you're below 600, like you're garbage. You're going to trash the place. Like you're going to put holes in it. If it's a residential, you're ripping out toilets. I mean, the place might as well have burnt down, right? like that's where like we've had this conversation where my mind goes to like landlords are the same thing, and commercial. I would imagine they're thinking the same thing, and they're like, oh no, they're going to look long term, but it's like under 600 landlords. You're a degenerate that's going to rip out my stove, steal my copper, like AC's gone.
Right.
But lenders, and in the mortgage industry, we're like, hey, listen, you're at 600 and, you don't have a bunch of lates, like you're minimal on your lates. You got the down payment money. And we're like, man, we're good to go. You can go buy, and then they're not wrong, but it just, I'm not saying like they're like navigating around the system. It's just, it's wild to see how different it is from, like you mentioned, from buying and renting, whether it's commercial or residential. It's a wild scenario.
How's your weekend planning out? Because I'm going out of town again, so I have 2 weeks back to back
This
out of town for the weekend.
Giving me a hard time. What, a week and a half ago? See, now it's your turn.
See, now it's my turn because now it's my wife's birthday. It was already a planned trip, so now we're doing these things, but. I would just suggest
when you go, since it is her birthday, maybe take an extra $10. Just put it in your wallet in case you find the monk's cousin. That way she can get the bracelets this time. That way, she doesn't feel left out.
I already got her presents. We're good.
Yeah. How many bracelets from the monk did you buy her? You went for the 2 for $10 and opted for the extra $10 and got her the sweatshirt? Yeah, I see you working. Actually, I will give you credit. You're pretty good at getting presents. I'm not on the cheap side. The last time you got her present, you ended up in Colorado randomly on the game 1 of the NBA Finals.
Yeah, that was a random Mother's Day present.
You better.
I got to top that one.
You see, I like to keep the bar low.
You're like, hey, we'll do a staycation at the cheapest casino in town.
Outback good for you? They cook a good steak.
That's the best steak.
We'll work our way up.
All right, man. So we'll follow this up next week.
Yeah.
I know you have a busy schedule, so I'm curious to see how many games you guys are going to win this weekend.
Well, we did pretty good last weekend.
Because you got a football, and then you have
last weekend. Let's see. Last weekend, quick tally from last weekend. My daughter played 4. They were 4-0. My oldest son played 4. They were 3-1. Beckham played 2. I think he was 1-1. So. Not too bad. The boys racked up the only 2 losses as Brooklyn dominated. But let's see, that's 8-10. So they were 8-2 on the weekend. So we'll try to top that this weekend. We got some stuff on the agenda. We got another probably 8 games this weekend. So
and I'll bring it. I'll see what other kind of interesting stories I can have next week.
Watch out for the shakedown wherever you go. Okay.
All right, dude.